All right. Sorry about the delay getting started here. We can get going. Let me clear out my environment here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So we had a bit of an intermission or whatever, bit of a break. I needed to focus my time last week on something else, getting caught up on some other work. But we're back and ready to start study halls again. So just a quick reminder for folks. Study halls, the purpose of study halls is to give you all a venue to ask questions on stream and have a place where we can just take questions and talk about solutions. Y'all are welcome to answer each other's questions and share solutions. Even if you have a problem that that you've maybe found the answer for, but you want to see how I would approach it, or ask for a description of how something or why something works a certain way. This is a venue for that, so feel free to bring those in. I also do want to mention here, in the the DS Basic Prep channel, Devin Dijon posted a question earlier, and Devin asked me earlier today to just give it a mention. Go ahead and give that problem a solve if you want. It's just something for you to do. So yeah, we're gonna be posting these little challenges and stuff. Especially Devin likes to post challenges and stuff in DS Basic Prep, which is great. So go ahead and give that a look. Give it a solve. I might be giving it a solve on stream if there's request for it, or just depending on how things go, I might just give it a solve on stream next time or on Friday or something. So cool. All right. So I do see a question posted in Slack here. Somebody's question is help, and a link and a smiley face. All right, I shall help. And they're saying, I'm having problems with this first challenge. See the link, thanks. Okay, cool. Let's go to that link. Someday my browser will load this web page and we can continue. Okay, here we go. Conditional statements. Huh. Okay, so write a function called checkAge. Is it this first one? This first challenge, see link. Okay. So I'll write a function called checkAge given a person's name and age. CheckAge returns one of two messages. Go home name, if the person is younger than 21, and welcome name if they are older than 21. Okay, so output equals checkAge. So we got a test here. And let's take it over. So here's our test. So I think what we can do is just def, we'll take in name, age, and I'm just going to say if age greater than or equal to 21, return. Now, does this want us to print or return? Return. Return welcome Adrian. So for this, I'm going to use an F string, and obviously I don't want to just do Adrian, I want to do name. So let's just run this test, and we should probably have a different test as well. 21. Okay, so we got 20, 21, and 20. And excuse me, I should, oops. I should give our alternate case here, else return go home. Now I gotta make sure it's spelled exactly the same. So go home, comma, space, name, exclamation. Okay, so go home, comma, space, name, exclamation. Good. Okay, so that looks like it's passing our tests. So let me submit this, and we'll see. Cool. That is working. One thing we could do here, just to shorten this down, we could do this as a ternary. So I figured I'd just mention ternaries because they're kind of neat. This is the same logic essentially. So what a ternary is it's an if-else combination. It's always if and else. And it says it's an if-else basically that evaluates to one of two values based on whether the condition is true or false, right? So if age is greater than or equal to 21, we want it to we want this ternary to express the value welcome name, and if age greater than or equal to 21 is false, we want it to express the value go home name. So this will also work. Let's just prove that. There we go. And it looks like the person who's asking has some code that they provided for me to troubleshoot here. This first line is formatted. The other lines are not formatted. So I'm probably gonna have to guess about the indentation on this. Oops, dang it. I hit copy when I meant to hit paste. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this looks good. Okay, so one thing that I see here is we have consecutive ifs, which actually is okay for this problem. These need to be regular quotes. So this is another reason. So if you notice, these aren't in standard quotation marks, and that's because the way that it was pasted into Slack, it was just pasted in a regular body of text. If you use 3 backticks, it has to be 3 of them. Then it'll give you a formatted, or it'll give you like a window where you can format a block of code more accurately, just for future reference. So let's just replace these with proper quotes. And it looks like this was the way it was intended to be. Now this is going to return a tuple every time. Also, it's going to return go home if the person's age is equal to 21. So we only want to do that if it's less than 21. So we could do that, and then since there are only two possibilities here, we can just have an if and an else. And I checked this if age greater than or equal to 21. But you could do it the other way around. You could say if age less than 21, print go home, else return welcome name. Now, again, these are going to return tuples, and we'll see that here in a second. So notice that these are tuples containing strings, and we want these to be strings. So we can use a format string. Oops. Oops. Okay. F. Okay. So we could do that as well. Now, if you didn't want to use the F string for whatever reason, which you should use the F string, that makes it nice. But if you wanted to use simpler tools, you could do go home space plus name. Plus name. Like that, and that should do it as well. Cool. All right, good question. I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment. But yeah, to anybody who's watching, feel free to just pop one into Slack, and I'll be happy to go over it. Looks like we only got a few people here, so if to the person who asked this one, feel free if you've got another one, just pop it in there. I'm just gonna go through the material since I don't see another question at the moment. All right, so last time we left off on parallel lists. Occasionally you'll have two lists that you'll want to iterate through at the same time. So this is what's meant by parallelists. When you have data that is split into multiple lists, and the values at the indices or the elements correspond with each other across their indices, right? So the elements at index 0 in both lists or in all lists, it can be more than two lists, correspond with each other, and the element at index 1 corresponds with each other, etc., right? All right, so by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to understand how to iterate over any number of lists simultaneously. Use the enumerate function to iterate over lists. Use the zip function to iterate over multiple lists. And this is a little bit, the way this is worded makes it sound like you have to use the enumerate function to iterate over lists, but you can iterate through a list directly without using enumerate. You can iterate through a range directly without using enumerate. So enumerate is a way of iterating through a list that gives you the elements of the list and the indices. And that's a bit, there's a similar sort of idea going on to parallel lists there because you get two things back. It's like iterating over a list of indices or of integers that represent indices and a list of values at the same time. And then zip is just actually going to let us just iterate through multiple lists at the same time. So yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that real quick. So let's say I have names equals a list, and let's have Jen, Joe, and Jesse. And let's have ages equals 44, 33, and 22. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. So Jen is 44 years old, Joe is 33 years old, and Jesse is 22 years old. So let's say I want to print each person's name, and I'll use an F string. Name is age years old, where age is each age in the ages list, right? So I want to like unify the data between these two lists into this print statement. So it'd be helpful to be able to iterate through these at the same time. So notice they have the same length. So one real simple way, or one way using really simple tools, is to just pick one of these lists, either one, doesn't matter, and iterate through a range of its length. So I could say for I in range len names. You do names or ages. It doesn't matter since they have the same length. And I could say name equals names sub I. And oops, could say let's see, ages equals ages sub I, or age equals ages sub I. And then we could say print name is age years old. So this will work. So iterating through the indices of one of the lists will allow us to index into both of them since they have the same size. So this says Jen is 44 years old, Joe is 33 years old, Jesse is 22 years old. And so this is one way of doing it, just using range and len. Range len in combination like this is just really useful. It's great when you just want to access the indices of something. But let's say you want to. There's a bit of a more elegant way. How do I say that? I'm stumbling over my words. There's a more elegant way of doing this. So in this case, I can say zip. I use the zip function, and I want to zip the two lists, names and ages. And I'll change I to name, and I will say age. So for name comma age in zip names ages. Print name is age years old. And you'll see this is going to work the same as the range len solution. Here. Apologies, I'm dog sitting for my roommate while they're out. She's just having a little moment. She just gets nervous if she's not in somebody's lap. Okay. It's okay, sweetie. Okay. Sorry, she's going to be a minor nuisance for the rest of the stream, but we'll be okay. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's look at the challenges for Parallelists here. I'm just going to jump straight to the challenges portion. Oh, I guess we didn't go through enumerate yet. Actually, let's go. Sorry, let's get to enumerate. Enumerate is just going to allow us access basically to the indices of each list as we iterate through it. So here, actually, I'll just blow this example away for now. So if I have a list equals, let's do, okay. And I want to get, let's say, the index of 77 here. I can print, or, well, actually, if I want to iterate through this and let's say I want to do something like I want to print out the each of these values raised to the power of its index, for example. So I could say for IDX for index for index and num in list. Of course, I want to enumerate because that was the point. So I'll enumerate the list like this. And I'll just print num to the power of IDX like this. So this would be something that I could do with the index, right? Okay, cool. And we got some numbers going on there. So cool. So that's enumerate in a nutshell. And let's just go through these real quick. So what will be the result of this summation? So res equals 0 for a, b in zip, nums a, nums b. We res plus equals a times b. So 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 4 is 12, 2 plus 12 is 14, and then 5 times 6 is 30, plus, what was that, 15? 14. 30 plus 14 is 44. Cool. Write a function called enumSum, which takes a list of numbers and returns the sum of the numbers multiplied by their corresponding indices, or index incremented by 1. Write a function called enumSum. Okay. Let me just copy paste this into my environment. We'll just do it in there. Okay. So I think I would say multiplied by 1 plus 1 plus their corresponding index. Yeah. Cool. And then this is supposedly our example. Okay, so enum sum. Let me just comment that out. Okay, so this should be turns into this. Turns into this. Okay. So we'll def enum sum takes in list, and we'll say res for result equals 0 for idx num in list. And again, enumerate. So since I need, how did that happen? Since I need access to the elements and the indices, I know I have to use enumerate. Enumerate list, and I'll say res plus equals yeah, num times idx. And that's one more than the index. So I have a couple options here. I could just add one to the index here, like that. Or I could start the enumeration at 1. And that'll just add 1 to the index automatically for me. And then we can say, yep, return res. So this should give me 28. Cool. Let's try to submit that, see if learn agrees. Come on, run tests. There we go. All right. And you can see I've done this one before. Implement the function double sequence sum, which takes a list of 2 positive integers and computes the summation accordingly. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this summation so I can see it. Oh no. One second. So a list of 2 2 lists of positive integers, and computes that summation, where a sub k and b sub k refer to the kth element in the 2 lists. Notice that there is no upper bound in the summation. It means sum over all the elements. Assume that both lists are of the same length. And take note, string index. Okay, cool. And yes, we're just returning the accumulator. Okay, good. So this is called double sequence sum. Def. And let's call this L1 and L2. And I'm going to pass for now. And we can just print. So let's see. Excuse me, I'm just doing some dog wrangling here. Come on, dog. It's okay, sweetie. Okay. So I'm just writing my test here. So everything below the hash is my test. There we go. Okay. So this should just return 0 for now. And I know I just want to iterate through this list, so I'll say for A and B in L1, L2. Oops, and we want to zip these. And I want to take the sum of ACC, that'll be ACC plus equals negative 1, negative 1 to the k. So we want the IDX as well. We want the index here. So there's a few ways we could do this. I'm actually just going to enumerate the zip, though. Enumerate zip. So due to the nature of this, we have to tell Python which one to unpack in what order. So let's just call that k. Why not? So enumerate gives us two things back, right? It gives us a tuple containing the elements or containing the index or the enumeration, really, because it doesn't have to be an index. We can start it wherever. So yeah, it's often the index, and in this case it looks like it's going to be the index. So it'll be the index followed by the elements in the collection being enumerated. The collection being enumerated is zip here, which also gives back two elements. So we need to put parentheses around this A and B so that Python knows that we're pulling apart A and B into its own components rather than pulling. Yeah, if we don't put on the parentheses, basically Python will get confused and won't know what to do. Cool. Oops, I'm not quite done here. So that'll be negative 1 to the k times. Oops. Let's do this over that times a plus b over 1 plus a times b. All right. Let's see here. Looks like I did forget something. We want the summation. We want k. It looks like we want k to start at 1 here. So we can do that. Yeah, okay, cool. So let me submit that, and this looks like the same as my initial solution, but we'll just see. Yep, so that does work. Let's just take a look back here and see what I did. So earlier I had solved this with 3 different solutions, and all of these will work. I consider all of these to be logically the same. You can see they even look pretty much the same, but One, I'm enumerating zip, which is what I did before. And then in another one, I'm zipping a range and the two lists together. So I'm zipping three things together. And instead of using enumerate, like I said, I'm zipping the range at starting at 1 through the length of one of the lists. And then finally, I'm just doing the range of the length of one of them. And that's working as well. And then I'm saying for k and range len one of the lists, and then using k to index to get the elements. Cool. All right. Somebody's actually requesting that we go through some more of the problems in this conditional statements page. Cool. All right. Might as well just kind of go through these questions. So write a function called is greater than 10. Given a number is greater than 10 returns whether the number is greater than 10 or not. So this one, we can just do this in a line. We'll just return num greater than 10. So for this one, we just need to return true when the number is greater than 10 and false when it's not greater than 10. So if I were to run this, okay. So if I were to run this, you can just see we're going to get an output of true or false. In this case, I don't have to do any condition checking, right? I don't have to say if num greater than 10, return true. I don't have to do this because the expression num greater than 10, this expression is true when I want to return true, and it's false when I want it to return false. So I can just literally return the expression, and that'll give me the output pattern that I'm searching for. So that'll just work on its own. Write a function called is less than 30. I just return. I'll just return. Return num less than 30. Same deal. Write a function called equals 10. I think this is basically the same deal. Return num equal to 10. Write a function called is less than, given two numbers is less than returns whether num2 is less than num1. Okay. So we could say is less than num1, num2. Return num2 less than num1. Was that what they wanted? The other way around? Nope, that'll work. Is greater than, okay, I'm just going to copy paste these. Gosh, these problems are real straightforward. They just want us basically returning these little expressions. Let's just do this. Cool. And then we could do equals here. Num2 equals num1. All right, I'll do up to number 20 on these, and then we'll move on. I'll move back to the materials unless there's a specific request to do a specific one. But I just put some bound on this. Or let's see, how far does this actually go? Does it even go to 20? Okay. It looks like they start to get interesting in a little bit. Okay. I just must be patient. Write a function called isOdd. Given a number isOdd returns whether the number is odd or not. Okay, so true or false, is the number odd? Return num mod 2 equals 1. So if num mod 2 equals 1, then it's odd. If it doesn't equals 1, then it's going to be 0, and it'll be even. Oops, I already ran it. Okay. Whoops. Given two words, is same length returns whether the given words have the same length. Okay. Sorry, some more dog wrangling. Okay. So for this, we can just use len, and I can return len word1 equal to len word2. Are both odd? Well, this one's the same. We can just use an and, but we can do return num1 mod 2 equals 1. Oops. Num1 mod 2 equals 1. Oops, and let me actually surround this in parentheses. And num2 mod 2 equals 1. Okay. That also works. Is either even? Okay, let me. So we want to see if either number is even, we'll return true. So if num1 mod 2 equals 0, then that's even. If num2 mod 0 if num2 mod 2 equals 0, then that's even as well. So if either one is even, we want to return true, so we'll use or, not row, or. Correct. Write a function called isOdd length. Okay. So in this case, we're just going to see if len word mod 2 equals 1. So we'll get the length of the word, right? And then len returns an integer that represents the length of something. How many elements are in that thing, right? So in the case of a string, it's going to tell us how many characters are in it. So len word gives us the length of the word, and since it gives it back an integer, we can just say mod2 equals 1, and that'll tell us true or false whether the word is of even or odd length. And then this one is going to be the same. Except we're just going to check if it equals 0 instead of 1. Easy. Is even and greater than 10. Okay, so we'll do this. Equals 0 and... Oops, did I mess that one up? Nope, okay. So if num is even and num is greater than 10. Okay. Write a function called rValidCredentials given a name and password. rValidCredentials returns true if the name is longer than 3 characters and the password is at least 8 characters long. rValidCredentials, okay. So what, it takes in name and password. I'm just going to call it PW. Sorry, the dog really misses my roommate, evidently. She's not usually this upset, but she's having a hard time right now. It's okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we'll return len name greater than 3. Greater than or equal? No, it has to be longer than 3 characters, so greater than 3. And len pw greater than 8. Correct. So write a function called get min length of 3 words. So given 3 words, find min word length returns the shortest of the 3 words. Okay, word 1. So let's see here. What is the dog's name? The dog's name is Pokey. I'm not sure how to spell that, but it's like P-O-K-I. It's pronounced like that. I think there's an H in the spelling somehow, but I'm not sure. Yeah, she's a real sweet dog, but she's the nervous sort. I like her a whole lot, but she definitely gets pretty nervous, especially when my roommates are out. Okay. Cool. So we got to find the shortest of the 3 words. So there's a few ways we could do this. We could make a list of the lengths let's call this lengths. I'm just going to say LNS for lengths list. So lengths list is an empty list, and I'll just use a comprehension. I'll say len word for word in the 3 words. Oops. There we go. And then I could find the index of the minimum. So I could do right. So lengths list dot index min lengths list, and we could use this. Oops. Forget I don't have surrounding characters enabled on the inlearn here. We could use this as the index for a tuple containing our 3 words, and then just return this. Meh, of course that didn't work. Very interesting. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so A is not equal. Oh, I see. Oh, so we're returning the actual length, not the word that is the shortest. We're returning the length of the shortest word. Well, in that case, that makes this way easier because we can just do min of this, right? Maybe we can do that. Oh yeah, that's so much easier. And just save ourselves the step here. Return min of that, and that should do it. Okay, cool. Find max of the 3 words. All right. So same code, we'll just use the max function. Max. Boom. Okay. Given a function called convert score to grade. Interesting. Okay, so we just want to convert one of these scores to a grade. So I think I just want to, we'll just say if score greater than or equal to 90. Yep, greater than or equal to 90. Yeah, we can just do that. So if it's greater than or equal to 90, return A. And this is basically just going to be the logic. We'll just go through and just change these accordingly. Okay, so if it's false that the score is greater than or equal to 90, then we'll move on and check the elif. So we don't need to check if it's greater than and less than. We don't need to check the full range because the previous, we can rule out this being greater than 90, so we don't have to see if it's between 80 and 89, because we know it's already less than 90 if this condition is false, right? Okay, so if LF score greater than or equal to 80, okay, cool. B, C, D, F, and F will just be an else. B, C, oops, D, 80, 70, 60. Okay, let's try that. Nope. Didn't like that. All right. Okay, so we have this invalid score. So if the given score is greater than 100 or less than 0, it should return invalid score. Okay. So let's do this. Pokey. Okay, Pokey. So we'll say if score is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll return F. God. Pokey, I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to write code, Pokey. Code. Okay. Good girl. Sweetie, come here. Sorry, let me just adjust her a little bit. Okay. Okay. All right. So else return invalid score. And oh, that says scorf. Nope. Still not quite right. A equals invalid score. Oh, right. So yeah, actually I should check a range right up front. So I'll say if score not in range 0 to 101. We'll handle our edge case first. As is the way of things. That's generally what you want to do anyways. I don't know why I was trying to do it the other way, but I don't know. Had it in my head to do it at the end. Okay, cool. And I do think, I do feel like there's probably like a nifty way of doing this. I think I can do something like I could do something like return. Yeah, I'd have to do a list. A, B, C, D, and F. And we want our invalid score as well. Maybe I'll just keep this as an edge case and just say else. Okay. So this is just me trying to chase something down. I have a feeling I can do it this way. Might take me a couple attempts here, but I think I can see if I could create a range and check. Yeah. So we'll go into this list and we'll say sub. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do this with subscripting like this, so it'll just select whichever one it needs kind of naturally. So if I did int score over 10, no, it's not gonna work. Okay. List index out of range. Of course it is, of course. Int score over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got, I wonder if it would work if I did this. Ah, alas. Interesting. Okay. I'm just chasing this down for my own satisfaction at this point, but yeah. We have a working solution. I feel like this other way is it's probably obvious. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I'll probably think of it instantly as soon as I end the stream, but yeah, we can just move on from that for now. Okay, cool. Write a function called convert score to grade with plus and minus. Okay. Convert score to grade with plus and minus. So if the score is between 0 and 2 inclusive, given a range, 0 and 2. So 0, 1, and 2. So if the score ends in 0, 1, or 2, I'll do this. Okay. I think I'll just do some kind of accumulator here. We'll say grade equals this, and we'll say, and at the end of this, we'll return grade. Yep, okay. So for all these returns, I'll say grade equals this. I'll start grade at none. No grade. Grade equals, grade equals this. Grade equals okay, cool. So let's try that out. And then I'll say if we want the last character of the grade. So we want to turn the grade into a string, or excuse me, the score into a string. Stir score sub -1, and that'll be the last character, and then we'll use that as an integer. So we'll reconvert it back to an integer. Int. Okay, cool. So if int stir score sub -1, so that's going to be the last digit in the score. I'm just going to do 0, 1, 2. We could use range or something there, but it's pretty easy to just do this. We'll say grade plus equals minus. And then we'll say elif, and it'll be virtually the same as up here, so I'm just going to copy paste this in, what is it going to be, 8, 9, interesting. So we have a bit of an edge case here, which is that 100 should be an A plus. Right now it's going to be an A minus. Okay. I think I'll just handle that in its own condition. So we'll just say 8 and 9 here. 8 and 9. Then we'll say grade plus equals plus. Okay. So I wonder if there's a better way to handle 100. I think I'm just going to do this. Elif score equals 100. Return A plus. I'll just handle it as in its own case here. We'll see what the suggestion says. Oops. Interesting. So we got an F minus here. Okay. Okay. So we got for our F code here. Yeah. Do we just want to return? What do we want to do with F? There's no plus or minus for F. Okay. So we don't need to accumulate F. We can just return it directly since there's only one F. Missed my edge case. Okay. Cool. No suggested code for this. So I feel like there's a lot going on here, and this could probably be reduced down and made a bit more elegant, but sorry, I'm just trying to get it to display all the way, but it's wrapping around a little bit. Okay, cool. Well, let's see here. 21. I said I'd stop at 20. 21, 22. We've only got 2 more. We might as well just finish them out. All right. Get longest of 3 words. Really? This is okay. Right. So this does actually want the word back. I see. So this is the problem I solved initially last time. I was like, wait, we just did this. So for this, I'm going to say LNS lengths list equals len. Yeah, actually I could do this. Len len word, comma word. I'll put it in tuples. That way they'll stay associated with each other. And these words, oops. And then we'll return. I just realized I think I can do this on one line. We'll return this, the min, oops, the min, or the, excuse me, the max. The max of this sub 1, and that'll give us the word. So let's see if this works first. Oh no, it does not work. Okay. Invalid syntax. Okay, so I meant to do a list here. Square brackets instead of parentheses. There we go. That should do it. We'll see. Nope. Len word, comma word for perhaps maybe this is what I meant to do. I think that's what I intended to do, like that, and I just kind of got off track. Interesting. Oh, okay. So this is valid syntax, but it's just the wrong one. Okay. WORDSTHESE. Interesting. Okay. Should return the first occurrence of the longest word if there's a tie. Okay, so it's not having the right behavior if there's a tie. I wonder why that returns. These three in words. Okay, so for this test, it looks like it's going to return words, and I expect it to return these. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, let's take this over to the editor here. And debug this. Okay, cool. Five and words. Okay, so that's going to be, what if I did min? Of course, that's not going to work for anything else. Huh. Well, I wonder, what if I just reversed it? That should just do it. Ah, I better know what's happening. Right. So it's, because I forget, min and max actually just will take in the whole value, and I'm expecting a different behavior here, a behavior that like sorted has. Um, So I tried to do this thing where I'm putting the two together in a tuple. But I don't think that's going to work if I'm going to use index like this. So I'll do this. So I'm just going to make this a list of links only. My crazy little solution here didn't work, so that's okay. And then we'll get dot index, excuse me, index, dot index of max lens list. Let's do that. Index 0, that's what we want. And we'll use this as the index number into lens, into our 3 words. Cool, okay. So that should work. Dang, I'm bummed my little tuple solution didn't work with that. When I thought of it, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. That's all right. Okay, write a function called find shortest of 3 words. Given 3 strings, find shortest of 3 words returns the shortest of the given strings. Notes if there are ties, it should return the first one. All right. So same thing. I wonder how the same is it? Can I just turn max to min and just go home? Is that going to work? Where is it? Where is it? Max, min. Yay. Just change max to min. Okay, cool. So that's everything in the conditional ones. Is that everything? Why does it say that's not everything? Did I miss one? Looks like I missed one. Where's the one that I missed? Huh, I missed this one. Is even. Okay. Well, I remember doing this one, but so be it. Return num mod 2 equals 0. Hooray. Okay, so that's everything. All right. Cool. There's some kind of fun problems in there towards the end there. We're getting close to our normal ending time. So I think I'm going to call it good for here. Thanks to the person. There's only one person who asked questions today, but thanks for bringing in your questions. I appreciate that. Do feel free, everybody, to bring your questions in. Feel free to DM me if you have questions throughout the week that you want me to go through on Study Hall. Just say like, hey, could you go through this on Study Hall? Or if you want me to take it outside of Study Hall, I don't mind doing that as well. But yeah, feel free to come by and bring your questions in. If I don't have any questions, I'm gonna just go through the material or something like that. And I'm thinking about, rather than just going through the material, I'm thinking about potentially like going through like other like algorithms, maybe like sorting algorithms, or maybe some harder problems, just so I'm not just crawling through the material as much. But if the material is interesting to folks, then I'll keep doing that as well. But I'm open to suggestions, so please send me a Slack message if you have any ideas, anything that you think would help improve study halls. So yeah, Hopefully, y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Bye bye.